Hello, my name is Brian. This is Fm22, and we're back in Malia. We're starting in the club vision screen, where we note up top that our job security is very secure. In terms of club culture goes, they are pleased with how we're going so far, and we're working on it within the payroll budget. Our end of season goals are the Europa League. They want us to reach the first knockout round. We are starting the group stage, so they want us to make it out of the group stage at a minimum. We did start as a 3 seed in the group stage, so technically we shouldn't be favored on some level. We are supposed to mid-table in La Liga, and we need to meet the 4th round of the Copa del Rey, which is a new high for us. We have completed our youth facilities improvement that we asked for, and we are working on improving our training facilities again. And so we will see whether there are, if this is the last level, if there's a level beyond this. Maybe there's 2 levels beyond this. I don't think there are. I think there's maybe 1 more level beyond this one. Overall B performance, there are a lot of transfer things to go over. Let's try and hit them very quickly. And it doesn't appear here, but anyways, so starting here. So we had 5 transfers in. Maulid Hale was an 18-year-old, is an 18-year-old out of Tanzania. We've had this one on the books for a little while. He is a 2-star potential, or 2-star current ability, 3.5 to 4.5 star potential ability that is a bit undermined by his unambitious personality. His pace and acceleration need to get up there to be a decent center back, but there's potential there. He's got good height. The mentals are pretty solid already. 16 tackling is very nice. We have loaned him out. He is playing in a pretty low level of Spanish play, but we'll see how that goes. And then in terms of other loanouts, we have Ordi Macchiati, 2-star current ability, 5-star potential ability, 4 with the possible 5th. He is a left winger, left-footed, 14 pace and acceleration, 12 dribbling, 10 crossing, 13 first touch, 10 passing, 13 technique. He's much closer to being ready than the center back there. He has a realist personality, which I think can be maybe a bit cynical. 15 determination, though, so that's solid. I don't think it says anything about his professionalism, which is always what you're really interested in. Does he have media friendly? Okay, so that's the most generic, basically, media handling style. It doesn't give us any information. But I really like the look of him. He, on the other hand, is on loan at Ibiza, which is in the La Liga Segunda division. So he's playing at a much higher level already. Seeing some ups arrows, so very positive. He might be one for the future. And we got him out of TP Mazembe, one of the basically the best club in Congo, at least for looking for prospects. And then we have 3 signings that we made to try and improve the first team. We brought in Mortala Sao. Again, last pronunciation, Sao, so not quite exactly sure. He was last playing for Toulouse. He is listed as French, but he is also of Senegalese descent. He is a center midfielder. He doesn't quite have the pace I like. I like pace all over the pitch, 11 pace, 10 acceleration. But boy howdy, he does some other stuff really well. Great first touch, great passing, great vision. Ball's going to come to his feet, land there softly, and he's going to move it on to the right people. And that's important. So we're going to, he's just 20, so he's still got some time to develop. 3.5 star current ability, 4 star, maybe 5th star potential ability. Basically, we're looking for him to kind of fill the role, especially as a Mezzala, maybe not the center mid on attack, but the Mezzala role that we use on the generally right side of our current alignment. He's right-footed, which is nice to have another right-footed player on the pitch, because we're often so very left-footed currently, though he isn't particularly good at corners or free kicks, so those are often where we want the footed balance to even out, where we need someone explicitly with a right foot. And with Gaibua and Youssef getting up there a bit on age, by which I mean they're like 28. Yeah. But then we will contrast that by saying we just signed Bertrand Traore, 32-year-old from Burkina Faso. Long history in a variety of top flight leagues. went from Burkina Faso to Chelsea, who loaned him out to Vitesse in the Netherlands. Came back to Chelsea and played 10 games, which led to a loan to Ajax in the Netherlands. Was then sold to Lyon, where he's played roughly up to current history, other than the $21 million sale to England, where again he's been a starter. Then we started getting into alternate history. He kind of got replaced here in this first year and then sold for $8 million to Udinese in Serie A, where he was a starter and then pretty diminished, and then went to a free on Verona. We got him for about $500,000. He hasn't lost his physical ability, 16 pace, 15 acceleration. And just overall, it's a very nice block for a left-footed winger on the left side, which had been one of our problem positions. We were having low ratings there. So I was looking to move him as a starter short term. We haven't signed for the next 2 years. So it seemed worth it for just $500,000, and he was still willing to accept a very acceptable $1.1 million wage. It became more acceptable when... Where is it? Is it over here? When Hoffenheim, the Bundesliga team, came in and triggered the release clause on Issahaku Abdul Fatawu, who was had been a right winger for a little while, and then we moved over to the left wing, and was our starter as a left winger. But yeah, he got bought for $20 million. We could certainly use the $20 million, and I think Traore is a short-term replacement for Fatawu. Obviously, Fatawu is just 23, so has a lot of potential ahead of him that Traore doesn't necessarily, but we will make do, and that $20 million allowed us to make some other changes. And then our last big input was Nourdine Hamidi from Feyenoord. He is Belgian, but of Algerian descent. He is a center back. He is very, very, very pacey. 16 pace, 17 acceleration. I had a player kind of like this in my last save, who was just a speed merchant at center back. He's 6'1", 15 jumping reach. Professional personality, so he should hopefully improve as he's got high levels of professionalism and determination. He might be a little prickly. That's something perfectionists can bring, but we'll live with it if so. Basically, you're just never going to play a ball over his head. He is either-footed as well. He on the downside, he's not very good heading the ball. His marking's just a 10. We really need to see those numbers improve. But he can run with the best of them, and sometimes that's all you need from a center back. And the center backs in particular were something I was looking to upgrade. I tried to make a move on Bennett Issa, the South African I've mentioned before, center midfielder. They were selling him on. I couldn't get involved. I didn't have the cash. I mean, I did get involved, but I didn't have the cash, and in the end, one of the German clubs came in with a better offer anyways. As you can see, we have starting here on 7-1, we have a bunch of loan outs, many of them on cheap or free deals. All of these players who we are looking to develop. Bright Aka, we sold on. I didn't think I was getting any more out of him. Same with Hernani Tabarez, or I had misjudged their initial potential. We did sell Ibrahima Diallo for $1.3 million to Bordeaux. He's definitely a good player, so definitely worth the money we got back for him there. So currently we have roughly $11 million in transfer budget and $877 in payroll budget available. And we are in a bad place. It's not the worst place. It's still just 4 games in this year. But I keep having to fend off people coming in to try and buy Ugochukwu Babangida. I have to keep telling them, no, I'm not interested, for their lowball deals of $4 million, like 8.2 minimum, 11.5, and he's got a release clause of 20. Pay me the money if you want him. And even then, I would be in a world of hurt if someone bought him. I don't have a backup. I have Paul Bayeste still. He's fine. but I don't have a long-term play at for an African player at goalkeeper right now. But yeah, things are bad. Zaidu Youssef wants a new contract. He's 28, and before being listed as surplus to requirement, let's see if can I? I want to see if this will piss him off. He had been a star player, and he's certainly was a very good player for us. But he's a 3.5 star potential. He's not that. He's not better than some other players. And he kept wanting a star player contract. So can we use this opportunity to move his perceived playing time down to important, which is much more in line with what he should be getting. He wants a raise to a star player contract as well, and wants money that Cessignon, who I've finally learned how to pronounce his name, is getting. But he's not as important as Cessignon. He's pretty replaceable. He's a very good player. You see all the yellows, but they're all reasonably low, 12s and 13s. So he's unhappy he's not getting a new contract. Chadi Riyad is unhappy he's not getting a new contract. I think Matsimo was unhappy at one point he wasn't getting a new contract. But I'm looking to replace my center backs. They've been a bit of a weak link on the team. Musa Michael hasn't developed. He is wanted by Norwich, but he's just not worth much for some reason. Gosh, I know his performance has never been especially exciting, but I feel like he should be worth more. Anyways, and Cessignon is out with injury for 5-6 weeks. And we look at the competition screen, and we flip over here, and we are not to be seen. You have to scroll a little. We are in 16th place right now with 2 points. Brian, as before, maybe the schedule's really bad. And it's it wasn't good, but this is not justified. We opened the year with a 2-2 draw on the road to Getafe. Getafe is not an especially good team. They're in 17th. That might be the only points they have. They have one other draw. But it was a road game, so, that happens. Then we played Atletico Madrid, and Atletico Madrid's a very good team. So home draw is fine. We only lose to Granada on the road, and Granada's a bad team. Granada's in 11th, and I guess they have another win, but not impressed. And then we just got, it doesn't look that bad. A Real Sociedad lost 1-2 on the road, but they just housed us. We were never in the game. We grabbed a late 88th minute one to make it 1-2 instead of 0-2, but we weren't in it. So the team, the morale is, it's fine. You're seeing a bunch of good arrows, not great arrows. And that's, after some losses, but there's several members of the team who are unhappy. We're not playing without our right back, which is a position where we don't have a ton of depth behind him. We just, I want Sammy there, Midi Matsima, Sao Youssef, Daniels. And then I want Traore on the left wing. Kawio, Jajaje. Jajaje hasn't found the goal yet this year. That's been frustrating. But on the other hand, it's kind of a new season. It's Europa League season, and I'm going to get to show you our first game. It is a home game against the 4th seed, Luzern of the Swiss League. We are also in a group with Galatasaray, Turkish side, and Napoli in Serie A. So I definitely think I moved Sammy over. Yeah, okay. I don't quite get that, but hey, checking who we got on the bench, making sure we got decent positional distribution. It's okay, it'll play. You know what? I want the experience of Gayabua in here, over developing Sao. Sao can play. He's played several games already, and we'll play him in the next La Liga game. So yeah, I don't even understand necessarily why we've struggled so far. Um, I wish I did, but I'm still trying to piece it together. It feels like we've struggled in possession. Okay, they're going to be playing a 4-4-2. They seem like they have several players who might be of interest to us. So yeah, let's kick off. We get to play in our blues. Luzerne will be in white with blue trim. And really just on that one arm. Awkward. Kawi has been good and does a good job of dispossessing there. And is playing for Session. Youssef to Daniels. Into Traore. Traore had the first goal of the year for the team and then also assisted on the second goal in the first game. He was a big part of how we managed to pull through that draw against Getafe. And he was sprinting back as the goalkeeper distributes it long to their left winger or left midfielder. But we get it back. Ball's played to Kawio, to Ananu, Gayabua, passing triangle. Kawio works it up a little to Gayabua, now to Jajaje, retreating back, plays it all the way back to Ananu, to Kawio. And Ananu is dispossessed, but Kawio gets dispossessed, but dispossesses right back. Now on a bit of a run, brings it into the middle. Daniels, Gayabua. There's Daniels making a run. Unfortunately, did from a bit deep, but still catches the corner of the post. It rolls in favorably. There's a cartwheel. We love cartwheels. Everyone should do cartwheels. If you could do a backflip, even better, but I'll take cartwheels. I was sure that that right center back there, number 12, it looks like, was going to cut Daniels off, but didn't have it in him. Pereira with throw in up to Nandaya. Pereira, Mistrofovic. That's a mouthful. And that's kind of Matsima sliding in the way there. Babangida with the save. Babangida is coming off an injury. I don't know. It's not an injury. It's an injury. It's not, it's not Sessegnon's strained knee ligaments. It's like he got a cut. And so he was able to play, despite it was like 7 to 9 days, he was able to play the last game and this one where he's nearly out of it. Daniels with another nice strike, just barely saved by the goalkeeper. I feel like maybe we've lacked a little bit of that, despite the fact that Daniels has played at this attacking center mid position where he's played for us all last year. I feel like haven't quite had the players surging out of the midfield to present a scoring threat as much as we have in the past. Babangida with a nice diving save there. They have a yellow card on Pereira, who's their left back right now. And the guy whose name I had trouble pronouncing has been subbed off due to injury. Ball's played long. Gaiabu doesn't do a good job of fielding it. Ball's to Heen. And Diaz led forward, but good job dispossessing by, looks like Youssef. Ball's played up to Kawio, taps it back to the right back, and let's see where I was going. Okay, corner for them. Header by Matsima, easily handled. Kawio, bring it out. Sends up to Traore, who gets to stand up top at the top of the circle. Jaja J goes back and marks a tall man because he's like 6'2" and has a very good jumping reach. Not very good as a header, but there we go. First goal of the year from Emmanuel Jaja J. Didn't use his head because, again, he's not terribly good with actually directing it, but he's good enough at bodying people out of the way that we want him back on the defensive box. Old man Traore can save his legs and stay at half field. Also, Traore's still got like 16 pace, so if we get the ball up to him, maybe he'll be able to out-dribble whoever they leave back defensively. But beautiful strike from Jaja J. This is, hopefully we get a win here, a very solid win, and that, turns things around, morale gets good again, and we go on a bit of a run. I do know the schedule is still hard. We have a Real Madrid game coming up in the next 2, I believe. Barcelona isn't anytime soon, so that's a positive, but ball's played for Gayabua. Number 3, 3.5. I would love it. Certainly we've made some changes to the team. Hamidi on the back line, Sao into the center, and Traore up top. But, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's been that significant of a change from the team that, we carried through last year and played very, very well and earned this Europa League berth. Sammy is maybe not as adaptable as we'd hoped there at left back. Oh, JJ. Beautifully saved by Miller. Well, saved by Miller. So Sammy might not be as adaptable as we hoped back at left back. He's still, last I saw, Daniels. Do we get bonus points for him hitting the same spot for a goal? Okay, it was a little higher this time, but hit that same pull, tapped it in. He knows what he's doing on this one. Maybe he just needed to come home. Friendly confines and all. The friendly confines of Almeria Stadium, because we're still renting a stadium. I imagine the fact that we are 8 hours away, though maybe not by ferry, but 8 hours away, does impact our attendance. Or maybe our attendance will just be, that bad even when we get a new stadium at home. But we are not filling this 20,000 seater regularly. Though as a Europa League game, this is obviously one of our bigger crowds, equaling when Real and Barcelona come to town. So yeah, I'm very curious how we'll do attendance-wise when we get our new 32,000 seat stadium, I believe, opened up in Melilla proper. If being at home will in fact raise our attendance, as opposed to the fact that our fans would theoretically struggle to attend regular games here because 8-hour ferry ride to watch a game. Traore taking the corner here. Oh, saved by Mueller. Good job. Don't want to hit any of the shouts. They'll just get unhappy. I guess I could praise. I could probably praise and be well, but they're all still happy from the halftime speech. So, and the halftime speech was like, "You're done great." It's not a hard halftime speech to give. I love it when halftime speeches are that easy. You don't have to sweat about, will they get demotivated because I'm like, well, we weren't expected to tear them apart, or just kind of generic platitudes of "you can do better." Yes, Chad Daniels, third goal of the night, hat trick for Mr. Daniels. Beautiful stuff. Let's bump that rating up. Give him a 10. 2 digits. If we're counting the decimal and the 0, then 4 digits. 4 digits. Yeah, this we we haven't had this so much, so which is a little strange given Mortalasao's superior passing and vision, but I don't know, just isn't as well integrated as Gayabua and Yusuf is. Oh, dangerous play from Ndenge. Ball played forward to Ndenge, who making a dangerous run. But Bamangida makes a good diving save, preserving the clean sheet. I would have sold Musa Michael potentially, except right now he's our only homegrown player, which does matter for Europa League registration. Obviously, Traore's got the starting spot. Fatou was supposed to be there as the rotational player. So Musa Michael is still the now rotational player at left wing, while Charles Abbey is the rotational right winger and striker. But yeah, I don't think Musa Michael has that much more development, and we have at least 2 good left wing prospects in the hopper. Good ball for Nandaya, makes a play, but again, Bamangida dives and gets an arm on it. Okay, let's sure. Happy to get Sao on, get him some playing time. Who else needs playing time and or who needs rest? Yusuf apparently needs rest. We'll get Chadi Riyad in there. Yeah, so Sammy's just sitting on 1.5 stars, silver stars. Now, obviously, based on his actual attributes, it should be much higher. He's a 3-star center mid with acceptable levels of pace and good defensive stats, and 9 crossing, which is solid, and good mentals. But yeah, feel like the number of games he's played at left back, he should definitely have. When we moved, say, Fatawu over to left wing from right wing, he definitely had gold stars by now already. And who should be the last one to come out? Okay. Let's play Hamidi at right back. We're gonna need Ananu a lot more than we have in the past, because with Cessignon out, so Ananu is gonna have to start basically every game instead of coming in as a sub for 20 minutes every game. And so yeah, let's get him off, and Hamidi, where we have depth at center back, can spell it out. Lucky duckies we are, as that ball bounces off the top crossbar, preserving the 5-0 game. Jajaje handles it, but is immediately dispossessed, and Albi play forward Hofer. What are you doing there, Faustino? This is a terrible line. They're all kinds of pressuring us, but it all kinds of doesn't matter given the scoreline. Ignore. So yeah, haven't been seeing this so much this year, but and this is obviously, again, Luzerne was the 4th seeded team in a group of 4, and it's a home game for us, so this is kind of what we should be seeing. I mean, not necessarily 5-0. 5-0's excessive. I'd love to see the 5-0, but a solid 2-0, 3-0 win should definitely have been on the cards. But it's definitely good to rack up some extra insurance, some extra goal differential while we can. And then we'll see how we do against Galatasaray and Napoli. Since we are in European continental football right now, there will probably be an extra video or 2 this year, potentially many more, as I'll cover a decisive game, hopefully in the group stage if there is one, and then each of the decisive knockout games, as well as a mid-year update if none of those games are appropriate as a mid-year update, as well as our year-end update. So only a 2.1 XG, but converted into 5 goals, and they still had 1.5 XG, and we shut that down. So yeah, that was the sort of performance we needed, and hopefully will boost the boys going forward. Napoli wins by 1 over Galatasaray. Yeah, 13 goals without a goal until he scored today. So good to have him break that streak, and we earn $750,000 for that win. Very nice to pad the coffers that way. So upcoming games, we have Real Betis at home, a trip to Real Madrid, and then a home game against Real Oviedo. Really, we need those 6 points. We need the home wins. And obviously, we don't really expect to win on the road against Real Madrid. If we do, it'd be great. Then we have a pair of road trips, so things get a little difficult on the Europa League schedule with trips to Galatasaray and Napoli. Road trip to Espanyol. I think Espanyol is actually coming up from the 2nd tier, so despite it being a road game, there's potential for points there. Home game against Valencia. Valencia is a good side, though currently in 7th, so would like to see us as the home team again score some points there. Cadiz, Malaga, not terribly impressive before we match up. Home game against Napoli, home game against Galatasaray, and then the road trip to Luzerne here in early December, right before a game against Barcelona. Definitely won't be the mid-year update, because the mid-year update will probably be like this game against Getafe. Maybe against Granada. We need to let the winter window settle. So, thank you so much for joining me. I do have, another player coming in here next year. We've already signed Aristide Kone out of Asex Mimosas, our favorite Ivorian Coast team. He is a right winger. He is a right inside forward, left-footed right inside forward, 13 pace, 14 acceleration, 13 finishing, 16 determination, resilient personality. That's a solid personality. 3.5-star potentials. I liked it. So we're moving on him. And we still have Azadine Boros, who is 2 years away. It just kills me that he has an unambitious personality. He's like, I think he's not yet capped by the Algerian national team, but I think he's getting U23 caps already at 16. So, anyways, thank you so much for joining me. Again, I will be back a bit more regularly than usual due to the European soccer, and hopefully the team rights the ship. Maybe I'll be able to give Yusuf a contract that he deserves instead of the contract he wants, and he'll stop being unhappy, and he'll stop being unhappy. The other players will not be unhappy on his behalf. As you see, the club atmosphere is a bit down compared to where it is. I mean, it's up now due to that win. Leadership support was a bit lower than usual because we lost a lot of our leadership. Riyad's the only one who's a team leader who's still here. Jose Antonio Gonzalez is out. Kamara is out. We let a couple of veteran players walk because they just weren't good enough. They were leaders because they were here, but and Riyad, of course, is one of the unhappy players. So team leader kind of radiates throughout everything. It could be part of the problem. But at the same time, it's like, do I really want to give this guy a new contract? He's still signed for another 2 years. He's got a good contract for us. He's okay. He's not a bad player, but he's not an essential player by any means. I don't know. So thank you so much for joining me. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for correcting my pronunciation of Sicignon, Dave. And yeah, I hope you have a very lovely day, and I'll be seeing you again soon. Bye.